Hello, everybody.
Hi guys, happy Monday. Today our read aloud, we're going to be reading the Lorax. This is an earth-friendly book. It was printed and recycled paper from the Lorax project. Mr. Kiefer, tell everybody what special day is tomorrow.
It is Earth Day.
Earth Day, woo! We hope to see you in our math class tomorrow, but we also can't wait for our Wednesday science class with our celebrity guest star. We cannot wait for that. But for today, The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old onceler still lives here. Ask him. He knows. So earlier in class, guys, we had a discussion about why the author would choose to italicize these two words. What was the Lorax, and then he knows. The author made those moves to try to direct your eyes to think about where is the Lorax and what was he? What is this Lorax that they're even talking about? And then he knows, like this onceler, when they emphasize the word he, it's letting you know that whoever is inside of this building, this onceler creature, definitely has some information about this Lorax. You won't see the onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of mufford moof. And we talked about lurkum and also this mufford moof. Dr. Seuss loves to play with words, and he was a master at making up words. And so sometimes you just need to look at your pictures and then maybe reread a sentence with these new made up words and try to figure out what Dr. Seuss was saying. So when we said he stays in his lurkum on top of his store, we looked over here and we're like, okay, if this is the store, this must be the lurkum. Somebody said a house, which is true, but I'm thinking it also might just be a room because it's kind of small. Doesn't look like you could have much in there, maybe just like a bed, but that's probably what a lurkum is. It's either a house or a room. And he lurks in his lurkum cold under the roof where he's making his own cloths out of mufford moof. Who knows what that is, but it's got to be some kind of material if he's making clothes out of it. And on special dank nights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail and the shell of a great, great, great grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in a snoo, his secret strange hole in his groovulous groove. Oh man, some weird words. A snoove, definitely it sounds like a secret hole is what a snoove is in his marvelous glove, whatever this is. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone.
Hey, Miss Winter, what have we learned about the Onceler so far?
Ooh, that's a good question, Kiefer. We always want to know what we've learned about our main characters. We don't really know much about this boy. So I'm thinking that the Onceler says here in the text that this is where he lives. He lives in this Lurkum. He's got his little creepy eyeballs out here. It says that he kind of might have some information about the Lorax. When I keep, oh, yes, and it says he'll tell you if you're willing to pay. So you have to pay him this 15 cents in a nail and the great great grandfather's snail shell. And then after he counts it and he hides his money, he's like a sneaky person. He's trying to make some money to tell in the stories, but he doesn't want to show his face. So he's kind of elusive. He's an elusive character. Down the whispermophone to your ear, down the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he'd had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time ago. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean. And the song of the swimmy swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffula tree, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. So pretty. And under the trees, I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and they ate truffula fruit. From the Ripupulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around.
Miss Winter, one of the questions that we asked today was, what is this land like? How does the Onceler describe the land that he lives on?
Ooh, the Onceler, this land that he came upon was looking very beautiful to him. He said they had these beautiful tuffula trees. They've got some swim swamps, nice lush grass, so beautiful and green. I see their faces are happy up here. When you come over here, the barbaloots need the truffula trees so they can eat this fruit. And then probably so big is making some shade for the humming fish. So seems like a really nice place to live. But those trees, those truffula trees, all of my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. Ooh, what is he doing? What is he unloading? I see an axe and some tools. Uh-oh. He's in love with the trees. Oh, he built himself a house. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. Ooh, Mr. Keeper, what do you think a thneed is?
A sneed kind of sounds like he's making himself some clothes.
Ah, some clothes. I think you can knit it. This must be what knitting is. And he's got his tree up in the window, so he's ready for the supplies. Kind of looks like I don't know, like a hat or some pajama pants.
Yeah.
Weirdzy. The instant I finished, I'd heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Uh-oh. That guy. Is this the Lorax key?
I believe that's the Lorax.
Oh, man. Mister, he said with sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongue. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you've made out of my truffle of tufts? Uh-oh. Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm not doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a find something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you're crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool Thneed.
Ooh. Hey, Miss Winter, how does the Lorax feel about the Onceler chopping down the tree?
Oh man, he's looking super mad. Do you see the picture? Look at him. He's pointing his finger. That's a very rude gesture when you point your finger. And he says, What's this thing that you've made out of my Truffula trees? He's super aggressive. He's very upset.
I think he's yelling at him too.
He's definitely yelling. And I just was thinking to myself, like, seems like the Onceler made a pretty good product. He said he only cut it down one tree. He cut one tree and he made, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different things that you can make with this need. I feel like that's a pretty good deal. What about you?
I think that's a great deal.
I know. If I can buy something and it's got 9 uses, I'm like, woo, winning. But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that sneed I had knitted was great, and he happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. Ha ha, you poor stupid fool. Guy, you never can tell what some people will buy. Whoa. I saw contrast and contradiction, right? The Onceler, the Lorax had said, nobody's going to buy that, you're a fool. And then here somebody did. They came and purchased it. So that just probably made the Onceler feel like, oh, see, look, I'm doing a wonderful thing. People do want my stuff. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room, and in no time at all, I built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts, and I said, listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken. Sharp right at South Stitch. Ooh, so caring. The Onceler's like, I'm going to help my family get rich too. Let me call everybody to come over. And in no time at all in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of these chopping of Truffula trees. Chop, 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 chop.
I see a PC right there. He goes from chopping down one tree to now chopping down, what is that, 5, 6 trees?
Oh my God, so many trees he chopped down. And his place also, Kiefer, is getting bigger and bigger. Look, at first he started out with this little Onceler house, this little shop, and now, look at it, there it is when it began, and now it's big over here. So he's expanding his business. That's crazy. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 Truffula trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before. And that Lorax, He didn't show up anymore. Whoa.
So my next question would be, what impact is the Onceler making on this environment?
Oh gosh, he's taking up all the land where people are living, Keeper. He's chopping down so many trees. Look at this. His machine has got some pollution here. Oh, I love the illustrations when they can help me get my thoughts together. And he's just got this big thing, whack, 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 whack. 4 trees at a time he's whacking. That makes me think of a contrast. In the beginning, he said, I am only just going to make 1 tree. I'm going to cut down 1 tree. It's fine. But now he's cutting down lots of trees. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown Barbaloots who played in the shade in their Barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go round. And my poor Barbaloots are all getting their crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies.
Poor guys.
Keeper, it's making me think back to when I first saw those Barbaloots. I hope, friends, when you're reading books at home, that you're keeping track of things that are happening in your sequence of events. Look how sad they are. Look at them. Your brain should be having a contrast and contradiction moment right now, thinking about how they were happy eating their barbala fruits, and now they're sad and there's nothing. And look how big this factory has gotten, Keeper. It's crazy. It's so
big.
They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. Ooh, Keeper, what did that just tell us about the Onceler on that page?
It kind of tells me that he really doesn't care too much about making the animals in the wild lead. He's all about business, you know. And if it takes, you know, kicking everybody out, he's gonna make money.
Super duper selfish character. Oh my goodness, look at the factory again and again, friends. It's getting bigger and bigger. And look at the pollution. It's like a snowball. It's a snowball of all the things that are happening. I meant no harm. Contrast, because he's doing lots of harm right now. We can see it. I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger. So bigger I got. I biggered my factory and I biggered my roads. I biggered my wagons and I biggered the loads of the needs I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs.
What is happening with the Barbaloots?
Oh my goodness. The Barbaloots are gone and they're so sad, and he could care less about those Barbaloots. They're gone. Who knows where? Maybe they went to Womp World and got rescued over there, but right now they're just gone. I'm wondering what's happening to the other creatures. Because I saw there was some swami swans
and the humming fish.
The humming fish, and ooh, we already know what's happening to the trees. They're gone. Chop, 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 chop. It's crazy. Then again, he came back, and the again and again I see, friends. I want you to just take a minute to think. Hopefully you're thinking that again and again is that the Onceler keeps expanding his business and creating more and more pollution. And now we see, before you've even read the text, that here are the the swami swans. They're looking sad as well. They were looking very, very happy when they were first introduced to us in the first page. And now we see the Lorax. He's back again. He will not stop fighting for what's right. I am the Lorax. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes with that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax. He coughed and he whiffled. He sneezed. He sniffled. He snargled. He sniffled. Onceler, he cried with a croculous croak. Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swam sweet swan. Why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you smogged up around here. Again and again, the creatures are having to leave the environment. What's more, snapped the Lorax, his dander was up. Let me say a few words about Gluppity Glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making Gluppity Glup all schluppity schlop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? Oh, I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hum. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gums. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. Uh-oh, Kiefer, what is happening again and again?
We keep seeing all the different habitats from all these animals just getting destroyed.
Super sad, super sad. It's making me think about Earth Day right now and all the things I can do. And then I got mad. Who's I?
I believe that's the Onceler.
The Onceler. Okay, so the Onceler's mad. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say, bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intended to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggerin' and biggerin' and biggerin' and biggerin', turning more Tarufula trees into thnees, which everyone needs. Ooh, look at the Lorax. He's feeling so sad, Keith.
I know.
No. Guys, look.
Oh, Miss Winter, so now what has happened in total with the environment?
Oh my gosh, let's read and see. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. And then we heard the tree fall, the very last Tarufula tree of them all. Kiefer, I think the author, again, he has italicized these words. They want to draw our attention to here so that we know that this is the very last tree. The Onceler has come and cut down all the trees. The barbaloots cannot live. The sweet swans cannot live. The humming fish, they also have no habitat. So sad. Look at the pollution and smog.
Isn't that awful?
It's so terrible. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under a smoke-smuggled stars. Now all that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. Mr. Kiefer, how does his family feel about the Onceler?
I think the family was using him for money. I mean, he found his great opportunity. He caught his family in to help him. And when the opportunity was gone, they just took his stuff and left.
So you mean to tell me that he might be reaping what he sowed?
I think you're right.
Oh my gosh, he was not caring about the earth, and so now nobody is also caring about him when they don't need him anymore.
I think so. That sounds about
Ooh,
right.
that's crazy. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he heisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And here, our illustrator, he did another contrast. You can see everything is very dark and polluted, and there's one little blue spot here. They did that there so they can draw your attention to just how bad it's gotten. There's no blue in the sky. You could not breathe. It looks very thick, like your lungs would not be able to survive. Um, so also you can see some contrasting happening in our pictures and our illustrations. And all that the Lorax left here in his mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long ago. But each day since that, I've sat here and worried away. Though the years while my buildings have fallen apart, I worried about it with all of my heart. Wow, I see a contrast, Mr. Kiefer.
Uh, I believe, what is it? At the very beginning, he didn't really care about the area, and now that everything's gone, he's super sad about it.
Yeah, look at he. I don't even know how he's living here. He came to this beautiful place when he was there, and he was so happy. Like, oh my goodness, it's so wonderful in the morning breeze and the trees. And now look at it. This is what he's made of this place, and he's
Super
all
sad.
alone. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a teruffala seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the teruffala seeds. The teruffala trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
Miss Winter, why do you think the Onceler gave the boy the seed? Why not just plant it himself?
Ooh, I think maybe the Lorax, that's a good question, Keeper. I'm thinking when I look back here and I see the Onceler, he may have been kind of changing his ways a little bit, and now he cares, but I think something inside him knows that he's not ready yet because he's still charging money to hear this story. That's what I'm thinking now. He's making people pay him 15 cents, this nail and a snail. I don't know what he's doing with the nail or the snail, but he is making people pay to hear about how you should take care of the earth. So I think inside of him, he knows he's still a businessman and he's still about money. And so he wants to trust this little kid to take care of it. So the little kid can go and build more trees and hopefully make it that beautiful like it was.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
I like that a lot.
So, friends, today that was our book, and we'd like to encourage you to think about 2 reasons why it's important for you to take care of the earth. And then also think about 2 ways that you're willing to help out and do your part to help our earth. And we'd love to hear that on Wednesday. It's been fun. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.